Black. All my tabs in order.
Mono, my parents are watching a church live stream and blasting the audio. I'll be going, I'll try to get some rest.
Been a while since a message double read. What is this Andare? So over here, that over there, and music's over where?
Mono, well lol.
Oh, hello. That's a new message. Fancy meeting you here. Where the heck has my music gone this time?
Mono, I entered and the first thing I heard was my last message.
Yep. When I connect the chat thing, it replays the last couple of messages. From D-Live. Good enough. Let's make a new thing. Midway through rearranging all the browse tabs. Everything's all over the place. Can't bother trying to sort it out. Oh, I got a couple of views on my YouTube thing on a couple of my streams. It's interesting. Music picks. Let's randomize and shuffle. Window is wide.
Mono, it's another case today of sleep is impossible.
Isn't that just every day? What is sleep? Sleep is for the weak, and you are clearly too strong, I guess. Blah blah blah. Where is the thingy? I've been messing around with the scanned data stuff for the last couple of days. Got more I should be doing today, but I'll do it later. I don't think I even have Blender open.
Mono, also Evangelion LP has arrived.
Oh man. Okay. So where the heck was I at? Just joining this little segmenty thing here, I guess. Right. So how do I join that little segment thing? Mesh bottom fill it would be. Everything's all a bit of a mess. I feel like I should do the same thing as I did at the top. So I'll just do that again, but for the bottom. It's got all the same inputs. I mean, if I'm calling that the tooth end, I mean the end is like
type of BGM.
Background music? I don't know what that is. I guess I'll call it tooth start. It should be tooth base and tooth something else. Yeah, it should be a base regardless.
Zuzeth, oh shit. Mono, yes.
Oh yeah.
Zuzeth, isn't this a Mr. Shit?
Perhaps. I mean, that's usually the guy who joins and says that thing.
Lol. Mono, BGM metal is new to me for your streams.
Alright.
ZZ, stop screaming, Mr. Shitlol.
And it reminds me of the guy I was talking to on Facebook. Like a couple of months ago, he started basically the wording he was using in his posts on Facebooks. Yeah, the playlist is on shuffle. There's a few songs there, but you know, it's so rare they come across. And, yeah, you just never really hear them. That's where I decided to jump to.
Hey.
Oh, hello. Yeah, it's a random guy that I know on Facebook. Used to be like, it's one of those skeptical, like, guys who, you know, if they saw someone posting things on that wall, like, about aromatherapy or something like that. Okay. Yeah, stuff like... Oh yeah, I see. I was like, what? I get it. So yeah, he was yeah, he was a skeptic sort of a guy, talking about all that sort of junk, and he gets to the good arguments, good points, like it was all about logical debates and stuff like that. That's sort of a guy. And then he stopped posting for a really long time, or anywhere near as much. He became like a meme lord sort of a guy. Made like literally memeing groups on Facebook and started his own YouTube thing with memes and things. And yeah, a couple of months ago, the posting that he was doing suddenly changed. Like the wording he was using, the phrases, like what he was posting about, and it seemed very odd. Almost like he'd been pulled into an MLM or a pyramid scheme type thing. Because, you know, pyramid schemes are more than just about...
Mob bus games. Costa.
Oh. Do I know you? Yeah, I think. Yeah.
ZZ, P. Ramids.
But, yeah, I was like, it sounds suspiciously
Mob
like...
bus games. Yes, you know me.
Okay. I'm just trying to think. I don't know anybody. Yeah, I can't. I wouldn't be able to know. The way that I know people is by the interactions within like those groups. If you're outside of that group, I'm never going to be able to place you. Apparently, I was notoriously bad for that in like school and stuff. Like when I was little, because like I'd see a teacher outside of class and I wouldn't recognize them because they're outside of class. I don't know them in this context, sort of a thing. But I've never even tried to think about people outside of that context. Anyway, yeah, he started posting stuff like that, and I'm like, it seems like you're in an MLM thing, and he's like, no, I'm not in an MLM, like, why are you, blah, blah, like, I don't think he started, like, asking why I was accusing the thing. He just said no, basically. I can't remember, it was a while ago. Yeah, and then he posted a picture of himself recently at a place, and it had the name of the place he was at, the group of people, and if you just Google that name, and then is it an MLM?
Mob bus games. Just slapped you on FB.
Is that still a thing? I completely forgot about the existence of that thing. I mean, I still don't really remember you. What sort of things do you normally post? Oh? Vaguely remember. I remember being something here.
Mob bus games. Probably not.
I remember seeing... I've been scrolling through Facebook all recently. I remember seeing the censored... Yeah, the censored, back of the robot thing from Unreal, yeah.
Level the Sigfin specifically.
Yeah, I recognize your posts, but... Level design, you say? Let me know if you ever want to collaborate. But yeah, he seems very butthurt that I've now pointed out that he's in an MLM, and he's trying to accuse me of, like, saying that MLMs are bad, and I'm, like, basically dissing him and all this stuff, and I'm like, man, all I'm doing here is pointing out you're in one.
I am open to it.
Alright, well, if you like, I could do my rundown of all the different game projects that I'm working on, the things I need help with, and all that sort of stuff.
Lols.
Yeah, Victor is... He's the guy that he really likes to just skim over what you're saying, completely miss the point, and then accuse you of things you've never said. And then gets really butthurt about it. Yeah, it's gradual over the years. As I said, he used to be like really analytical, really logical, and all that sort of stuff. Like that's why I loved that guy, you know, back in the day. It was always hilarious seeing all the stuff. Yeah. But he changed before he did the MLM thing, unless he'd been in the MLM, because that's how it usually goes.
Beware of the cube.
Yeah. Yeah, the whole MLM thing, it's cult-like mentality sort of stuff. It's like a person commented on a post that I posted saying like, "Rip, like he is in an MLM."
My bus games lost my little brother to that crap.
Yeah. He said something like, because the MLM he's in is all about buying and reselling property. Yeah. It's weird how you could just immediately recognize that. It's like, it's not their words anymore. It's the brainwashing part of it. But yeah, it's what I say, like, he's like, oh, how could buying and selling property be an MLM? Like, what are you on sort of a thing? Ha ha ha, you're so dumb sort of stuff. And I'm like...
Dude, yes.
Yeah, I was trying to, like, think of an analogy, but I didn't think of anything good enough. So I don't think I ended up posting it. There's a lot of posts, like, I tried to write out, and I'm like, nah, it's not worded enough, he's gonna misinterpret this stuff, so I had to, like, erase stuff, and I was half asleep as always. But it's like, you know, like, the place he's at is buying and selling property as much, like, the example I came up with was, like, a church sells holy water, you know, churches are much more than just selling holy water. I don't know what churches sell, but you give them money, it's all, like, you know, community and all that sort of stuff. It's not just that one thing. Yeah, the real example.
Mono, just look for dictator-like figures at the top calling people shit.
Yeah, and it's, you know, like, that group is about selling property in the same way an MLM is only about multi-level marketing, you know? That would have been the better example. I tried to find the comment, I couldn't find it to, like, add that onto the end, so I guess I just never posted it. But yeah, I was listening to one guy in particular, Vice Rhino, I think it was? I'm pretty sure it was Vice Rhino. I listened to a lot of his stuff. It's great background music. It's very repetitive if you listen to a lot. It's always the same arguments, but his stuff is basically, like, Vice Rhino and Thunderfoot were two people that I started watching on YouTube at about the same time, because, I was looking...
My bus games. For real, I got wrecked one of their rallies once, and FFS the hypocrisy.
Oh, yeah. But, like... Yeah, I was looking for, like, religious things, because, like, back then I was like, well, there must be something to, like, Christianity and things. There's so many Christians. There must be something here that, you know, like, scientists can't refute or something. So I was, like, looking at all these different groups to see, you know, study up on the whole thing, like, figure it all out. And Vice Rhino and Thunderfoot were two channels that I joined. Thunderfoot's doing more, like, debunking things of, like, just dumb mob mentality sort of stuff as far as I'm concerned. Things like, you know, why Elon Musk is saying, like, what he's saying is really, really dumb a lot of the times and stuff. Which is just pointing out facts, and it's really funny because people are like, oh, it's Thunderfoot, he's like, he's so biased and things, everything he says is bad. It's like, but you can't point out anything he's saying that's wrong, can you?
Gotta get the kiddo to the potty. Can't
Oh,
wait
no.
till this isn't a thing anymore.
Okay, I'm gonna be ready for a while. When you get back, I'll tell you about the game things if you want to hear. The flowcharts and junk I could dig up. Yeah, it's the Thunderfoot guy who just basically focuses on debunking religion things, like skeptic sort of stuff, like, you know, proof that God exists, and then running through it logically to basically point out how this isn't actually proof, and generally it always just ends up being the Bible said so, or something like that, for why God exists. I feel like my music is louder than normal. I can't tell. It's louder to me. Maybe I'm just not used to people talking in chat. But yeah. It's just entertaining background stuff, because of all the dumb points in it. Like, logical arguments, how to distinguish, like, logical fallacies and things. Like, when you understand that sort of stuff, which I don't completely, I'm not saying I do, but I definitely understand it more, like, there's so many things that people do and say, and you're just like, no. Like, what? So, yeah, it makes it unbelievably obvious about MLMs and stuff like that anytime anyone's pulled in. But yeah, the Vice Rhino guy, he did his experience in being part of an MLM for many years. They never realized they were in it at the time. But it's all the sense of community, like, it's a fun thing, and it's the brainwashing stuff that they do. Stuff like they go to meetings where everyone gathers together at a place and they're bragging about how early they got up, how far they had to drive and stuff like that. That's like a badge of honor, like if you have to go a really far way to get this thing. And, you know, what sort of merchandise, quotation marks, they bought from the group. That, you know, about getting in the right mindset, the 1%ers and all that sort of stuff. And it's just like, you know, it makes you want to do that, to try 110%, which, you know, it's great. But most of the people in these things don't make money, and everything there costs money. It costs you to be there. So that's what he was saying, the Victor guy, because he was in an MLM thing, and he's like, no, it's not an MLM, which was the whole point of my post, was you are actually in one, you know? I'm not making fun of you being in one, I'm just saying, you're denying it, but you are. And, yeah, he was, where was that? Yeah, it turns out the thing he's in, which he's making a lot of money from, like, you can be in MLMs and have a good experience, whatever. There's lots you can learn other than, you know, the marketing parts of things. You just learn, like, you know, the mentality part, as long as you don't get too religious about it. I'm sure there's a lot of stuff there that is actually handy. You know, the sense of community and things. But they're going to turn on you on a dime sort of thing from every experience I've heard. Like, you get it excommunicated, don't talk to that guy, he's not a 1%er, just ignore him, sort of things. Yeah. Like, it costs him money to be part of this organization. He's got to pay a monthly fee, which seemed to be some high-ish amount of money, I can't remember exactly. I think it was like $60 a month minimum, and they had like different levels of stuff. Then they had the whole multi-level marketing thing, so you want to get other people in, and you have your whole downline thing, as it's usually called. They called it something else rather than a multi-level marketing. It was called like something like layered. Like, it was just alternate words for multi-level marketing. It meant the same thing, just, you know, reworded. Alternate words. Like, what's a different word for multi? I don't know, layered. You know, level, layered height. Partnerships. I don't know. Layered partnerships. Whatever. Anyway.
Mono, I just realized that CANT Wars is a pyramid scheme.
Okay. There's a lot of things that are sort of pyramid schemes, you know, it's not uncommon. One of the people in the chat said that, like, Starbucks is sort of a MLM. No particular places generally perfectly fit the definition. I mean, it just generally means, you know, the standard definition of what people think a multi-level marketing thing is multi-leveled marketing. So you get people that work under you, and they have people who work under them, and they have people who work under them, and you can have multi-people under all the different things.
Mono, CANT Wars is a hentai game.
Okay. Yeah, and all of the profits that all the people under you make, you get a percentage of that. And you're also working under somebody else, and they get a percentage of what you get, so it all feeds up. The higher up the chain you are, the more money you get. So you want to get as many people under you as you can, and under them, and so on and so forth. That's generally, like, you know, surface level what an MLM is. But yeah, as I said, it's more than just that. It's all about the mindset, the religious sort of cult-like mentality they have behind them. All that sort of junk. And that's what you got to watch out for, because they slowly get you. And as the Vice Rido guy says, like, when he first started doing it, it was suggested by a friend, and it was just fun time going and doing it. But over the years, it slowly started getting, he started spending more and more money, like to the point when, you know, to go to these meeting things, it was such like a badge of honor how early you got up, how far you had to drive, that I think he said like 1 out of 5 times, people would actually get into car crashes because they had to get up so early and drive so far to go to these things. It was not uncommon. Just so they can say they did those sorts of things. You know, you didn't really have to be there. You also had to pay to go to them. It's like a convention, something like that, I guess. I don't know. And even though you were paying, like, they say that you're paying because, you know, you got to rent the place and, you know, you have food there and people are helping out and stuff. But the whole thing's volunteer, and usually people bring the food. And the place they're renting at, like, might not even be rented. It might be a friend's place that they let them use or something like that. So it all just goes to the higher-ups that are there. And there's all the layers of deception and stuff, like the 1%ers are generally the same people every single time. They do not change, you know? It's been the same people from the beginning. They might change their names or wording and stuff, but it's the same people. That's what he was saying about the one he was at anyway. It was like a full MLM one. Crazy. But yeah, the easy way to tell that someone is in it is they're using words that are not their own. It's like it's been copy-pasted out of a book, or cults in general. Yeah, that's how you tell. It's not the way that they would usually phrase stuff, not the things they would usually talk about, not the way they would word it. So, you ever see posts where some person's just suddenly posting things like that? It's generally what it means. Might not be. And just because they're in things like that doesn't mean it's a bad thing. But if the organization is doing the thinking for them, it's probably going to be a bad thing in the end. Not going to end too well. Yeah, I've known a few people who have done it. One of my cousins has done it. I've gotten into it. This really hippie organization. Googling it is very mixed. It's a very crazy place. I can't even remember what they're called anymore. But it's basically like a hippie commune sort of a thing. Except they're all about like aligning chakras, and they have like relics and things, objects of power that you have to go there to use, and it costs extreme amounts of money. They also have like these relic things you can buy, which is basically just colored water in a tube. I mean, it looks cool. I mean, it's a thing. It's great to just get for like a gimmick, but yeah, people are basically worshipping these things and fully getting involved in the whole mindset. And it's basically like a slave labor camp and things from what I was reading.
Mono, it can also mean their parents found their online profile and start talking about it.
Yeah, well, I haven't seen that happen, but yeah, I could see stuff like that. But that would be too much of a drastic change, you know? Unless their parents are using their profiles to talk about it, to get people to join, I guess.
Mono, I have.
Damn. Generally, parents aren't too tech savvy. Oh my god, every single month, almost without fail, my mum will ring me to let me know how the internet is not working again. Because she refuses to get proper internet. So like, we're settled on her having internet on her phone. And she used to do like a wireless hotspot to connect the computer to it, but for some reason it's asking for a password and she never set a password. I'm like, well okay, just change the password on the phone, you know? And she's like, but I didn't set one. I'm like, just change it anyway. Like, but I never set one. Like, just, okay, whatever. So, plug the USB into the computer and turn on USB tethering. 2 things you need to do. And she'll do it, and she's like, oh, it's not coming up with the wireless thing. It's USB tethering, Mom. There's no wireless. You just turn it on, plug it in. I mean, plug it in, turn it on. Like, you don't have to do any other steps. It just works. And every week, every month, without fail, she'll ring me. Because, like, oh, it's not in the wireless thing. Oh, it's not working. And I'm like, did you plug it in? And she's like, yeah. Did you turn it on? It's like, I have to turn it on? I thought I just had to plug it. It's like, Mum, every month. Oh, it's crazy. She is unbelievably anti-internet, though. She's had bad experiences over the years. Always going on about viruses and things. She's settled down on that a lot now, though. And, yeah. It's like I was trying to talk her through, like, okay, now open up the browser. And she's like, okay, and like, I'm like, did you open the browser? It's like, yeah, I've got the thing. Like, the way she was wording things, like, she didn't, I don't think she, like, she literally used to work building websites, but it was very confusing to tell if she had the browser open or not. Or she was just, like, typing into the start bar or something. I never thought she would turn out to be like that. So I'm like, you know, open the browser, make a new tab, type in the URL, just banana, and then hit enter. What do you see? She's like, she's going on about like the internet companies sending messages and stuff, and I'm like, no, you've done something wrong here, you know? It's like a 3-hour phone call. We talked about a lot more than that though, last time.
Mono, my mom needs my help to be able to enter a Zoom meeting.
Yeah, my mum's not even gonna start to do that. Like as I was mentioning, like, if you get pro internet, I can actually, like, see your screen, and you can do things like that, and then as soon as I said it, I was like, no, don't, forget about that, you know, because she's gonna be like, oh, you gotta see my screen, like, other people can see my screen, and they can take control of my mouse, and, you know, they'll be able to see me typing in passwords in my email. I'm like, no, Mum, no. Like, she never actually got that far, though. She didn't even want to bring that up, because she didn't want to freak out about it. I'm like, just forget about it. But it's like, oh. It's like I keep telling her I could just send her links to stuff, you know, when she wants to watch a movie, I could just send her a link and there's the movie. And she's like, oh, but there's extra fees, you gotta have Netflix and stuff. And I'm like, there's alternate ways to get all the stuff that's free, like, forget about it, you know. She's like, oh, but the phone company will want to put extra fees, they keep charging you stuff for things you're not using.
The worst
nope.
is the meetings are for church stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I got a friend who was doing that Zoom stuff for church things. It was hilarious. He wants me to be there because I'm like... I'm not like anti-religious self-claimed. I probably seem like it though. Like, if somebody is on my Facebook or something constantly posting religious things or like stuff like that, trying to get people to do stuff with an ulterior motive sort of a thing, like, you know, I'm gonna tear them apart. If it's spammy, like extremely spammy, then I will. If it's just like every now and again, I'll just like, yeah, whatever. The only other thing is if they're saying information that could be interpreted in a way that would bring harm to people. Like one particular person on my Facebook wall who, you know, it slowly escalated over the years. It's another one where they're in like a cult-like thing. It's sort of a sidestep to a cult-like thing though. It's, you know, they're doing it to themselves. It's not like there's another group of people around. It's like the paranoia one. They're making their own cult-like behaviors. But yeah, they were suggesting stuff like, you know, take your kid out of like primary school because they're doing mandatory vaccine things. This is in the early beginning of 2020. They would say that she would say they were doing mandatory vaccine things where they stick a needle up your child's nose into their brain and inject a virus. And the virus will, you know, do the general stuff, autism and things, but it also allows the government to give them mind control, like, abilities and things like that. And it's like, you know, no, but whatever. But then she started saying all you really need to do is inject them with zinc and like hydrocloxicin or whatever the thing was that Trump was going to go on about, and a few other different things which you could make at home. It's like, no.
So it's mainly sons and daughters controlling the laptop while the others speak.
Yeah. Damn. Be hilarious. I can sort of imagine, like, the parents there talking and all of the kids are typing in the chat about, like, games and things, like, non-religious stuff, but they don't know how that works. Yeah. You know, as soon as, like, she was mentioning injecting your child with homemade, like, homeopathy-type medications, it's like, no. So yeah, I jumped on that one. I was questioning all of the things. You know, the best way I find it to like question these sort of things is you forget everything you know, you ask them for all of the information they can possibly give you, and then you just simply question it. You know, if the government is this and you're doing that as you say, then wouldn't they also be able to do this? Like, wouldn't this be a thing that happens as a byproduct? You know, like stuff like that. You just continue down that logical path in directions you don't normally think of, which is like the whole, you know, brainwash sort of things.
Mono, I often hear the slippery slope response.
Yeah. But it's like, Slippery slope, yeah. Oh, if they do that, then you're gonna have to like have a passport thing you have to show that you have vaccines. You won't be able to get jobs or go places without showing the stamp that you got your vaccine, and then they're gonna start microchipping you and things so they can just scan you to see your medical history whenever you go anywhere, and that's what they did in Nazi Germany. So the Nazis. It's like, bruh. Like, you have, like, a driver's license, right? you know you have, like, an airplane license, because, that's a whole thing. A gun license in a lot of places, the government already does these things. And they also do it on medical stuff in certain conditions, certain places. It's always been like that. Like, I cannot see them doing anything more. Like, yes, it could be a slippery slope, but it all begins with a ruling from a judge in, like, some sort of a, political government thing. It doesn't just happen. It's a slow build. And even then, everybody is human. The government isn't some magical fantasy creation thing with its own will. It's a bunch of people. Generally, they have at least minimum amount of logical, skills. Although 2020 really made me question all of that with Trump and stuff. Like, how the heck is... Like, I had way too much faith in society, clearly. There's things that were going on about that virus. Oh boy. But anyway. Yeah. But it's like, I had a friend, which really sucks, because they're one of my best friends, and I've been trying to go to their place, but it's hard to leave because of my sleep thing and the cat and all sorts of stuff, and I finally started to free up a bit of time that I can go there sometime soon. But they started getting really... Well, I'd say started. It's always been a thing. He lives on a farm now, and as far as I'm aware...
Mono, in Australia you can be charged for possession of child porn for having lowly hentai on your phone.
Okay, if you say. I mean, that's a slippery slope. I could say my opinions on that stuff. I mean, technically, you could take the logical point of view of, there's a thing about that. Like what consent is and all that sort of stuff. But, it's about harm and things, consent and harm and blah, blah, blah. At the end of the day, it's not real. There is no person at harm. There is no whatever. It's a drawing. It's not even real. So technically, it's not. Why would that be a thing? It's completely separate. And many, many things about that. But, yeah. At the same time, it's a little bit weird, Well, whatever. There was an analogy I thought about it like years and years ago. I remember talking to someone a whole lot about it. It's all about mindsets and things. I don't know. Whatever. It's a slippery slope, as I said. Very hard conversation to have without people jumping to conclusions, because that's one of those black and white things that have like a mob mentality. Which, I'm just playing devil advocate sort of things. But yeah, what was I going to say? Something before that. I was heading towards something. Oh yeah. So, yeah, he's the sort of guy who, he literally researches all of this conspiracy stuff.
If you're going to the court for it, they just revered it as child porn.
Yeah. It's like a very... nothing is black and white. Everything has a lot more information to it no matter what. And it's one of those things that just gets simplified even at a legal court term level and all that sort of stuff. Like, people will not think of it as any other way. With devil advocate style thinking, I mean, technically you could say blah and blah, but... Anyway, so, yeah, he's basically locked himself on his property he got. He got this farm, and they've been living there for, like, over a year and a half now, I think. I think they got it just before 2020. It took them like a whole year to get the place in the first place because they had all this trouble with like banks and stuff trying to get loans, but they were trying to do it alternative ways from people who don't actually have licenses, friends of friends sort of things. But luckily the land owner was like, yeah, these people are going to get it in the end, so they basically just consigned to them.
I own at least 10 gigs of CP because I just downloaded part of a database of an image board.
I was very questioning what you were just saying. I was like, wait, what are you? What are you? But I can understand that. Yeah. I always wondered if you could just download everything on those sites. I think I remember looking it up once when I was a little younger. And there were like things around, but it was weird. And then yeah, they do sometimes have stuff like that on them. Like it's an unbiased download. But yeah, technically that is now on your computer and you could be charged for it. On the server thing, it's like they're not responsible for what people upload and download sort of thing if they do certain stuff.
What I said right after I sent the message.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if that's gonna hold up in a lower court, but sure. I wonder how that would work. Like, if you unintentionally did something like that. Because it was unintentional, but then it's still, you technically now own a copy of things like that on your hard drive. Like, how would that hold up in a court of law? Even if you immediately deleted it or something, but there still happens to be remnants of it on your hard drive, you know? I wonder how that would work. I feel like they wouldn't be lenient because it's one of those black and white things. Like, nah, off you go. Yeah. I remember watching like random YouTube stuff. Like, sites like that do actually have real stuff uploaded to them occasionally, you know? Or, I guess very rarely, probably. I'd hope not occasionally. Yeah, because people just do that. Usually the site deletes it immediately, but sometimes it sticks around for a while or can slip through the gaps and stuff. So you might actually have real stuff there. You never know. How could you know? But anyway. Again, shouldn't be talking about this topic. Streams don't favor them. Yeah, so he's gone a little crazy with the conspiracy stuff, and he's the guy that would be researching conspiracies, like, unbelievably, massively researching conspiracies. So he gets pulled into it, but not pulled into it in blind faith sort of pulled into it, or at least that's not how he used to be. He would be researching everything from all the different angles.
Mono, Pornhub used to be unmoderated and full of illegal stuff.
Yeah, I know about that, like, so... Yeah, I remember those dark times of the internet when you're searching things and you find like gore things and stuff like that. I remember one particular thing. It was basically like a naked woman who had been impaled on a spike, you know, that was standing up straight, and it's like
mostly rape. Up
and out her mouth. And it's like, why is this here? What is this? And it was, I think it was like people like laughing at her or something. And it's just this corpse of a woman on a stick. And it's like, what? I was like, what the heck? That was just a random dark corner of that site. Yeah. Gore stuff used to be, yeah, that was, like when I was at school, there was a lot of gore sites.
My bus games, back with noms.
What a great time to come back. But yeah, basically he used to research these conspiracy things like unbelievably large amounts, all the different perspectives of it, come to his own conclusions. He didn't just blindly follow the things. But for the last year and a half, he's been getting pretty crazy with the whole coronavirus thing. And he's the sort of guy, like, he used to go super deep in it, but now he just does the surface level analysis sort of a thing. And he was literally getting angry at me the other day.
Mono, I have seen way too much random gore because people find it funny to troll me with.
Yeah, no. I immediately remove anybody who does stuff like that. Like, maybe give a warning if it's somebody I know, just be like, what are you doing, man? Even if they're just like posting a picture of them next to roadkill on the road, or an animal they've killed and are really pleased about for some reason, it's like, no thank you. I come here for the memes. For the funny memes, not real life. But yeah. Yeah, he started going really crazy with the conspiracies about all that stuff. He's going on about the whole global conspiracy, global elites, how it's like a man-made virus. He still thinks that the coronavirus thing is fake, though. He doesn't believe it's anywhere near as bad as it is, and they're just trying to use it to control people. No, thank you. Wait, it was ripped apart? Are you talking about that one that was just on the ground? I thought it was just a wild mouse. Oh, good thing I didn't look at that image too closely.
Lol. Mono, yes.
Yeah, that's why I said lol, a wild mouse. I thought it was just some deep level meme humor. Like, this is just, you know, a mouse in the wild.
Some electronics were ripped out.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, he's gone, like, he's sort of went crazy with it. Like, he believes that it's all fake, but they won't go out. They don't do the mask thing because the masks can kill you because of, you know, you can't breathe. And although he knows that, like, yes, you can still breathe, it's just harder, the way he explains it to other people, such as his wife, is that it would literally kill you, and then he's showing all of these videos of it. He's not describing things past the surface level. As soon as somebody agrees with him, that's enough information, regardless of anything. He just wants people to agree with him, regardless of their actual understanding of what he says. So I was talking to his wife about it, and yeah, she was like fully convinced, like angrily so, as if you just attacked her personally, when...
Mono, the other person watching doesn't know what image we're talking about.
It's a mouse in a field. I think. But yeah, the probably for the best, turns out it's cool. Yeah, she believes that literally just the normal generic surgically type mask things that people have been walking around with outside, if you have one of those masks on your face, you will die. Guaranteed, because you have this thing on your face, and now you can't breathe. And she was quoting stuff from videos that the Vice Rhino guy, like, debunked. I mean, not Vice Rhino, Thunderfoot debunked. Of, like, some political guy in America and stuff. He was one of them anyway. There was multiple others and more videos made from those videos as, like, copies from different people. But basically, your cells cannot absorb enough oxygen. Like, the sickness they're describing, according to the Thunderfoot guy, is your cells are actually having a problem where they are unable to absorb oxygen, so it leads to cell death. Not that you can't inhale enough oxygen. And like I was trying to break it down, because I'm not telling you that it's good or bad to wear a mask or not wear a mask. I'm just breaking down your logic here and trying to figure out how you came to this conclusion. Because she was demanding that I was wrong and she was right, and there were science videos about this. It's all backed up. Yeah. And, yeah, I was just saying, like, you know, let's just break it apart. Let's look at the variables here. You know, let's assume it's true, and how could you exaggerate? How could you make it worse and stuff? Let's say you had a sheet of plastic that was tied to your face in the same way as the mask. It's the same as the mask, it's just literally you could not breathe through it. Would you immediately die in asphyxiation? No. You can breathe around it. I mean, it would be annoying, but you can still do it. It's not going to kill you unless, like, you try to make it kill you, you know? Like, what if the fabric was thicker? How much would it stop? Where does the oxygen go? If it's stopping you from being able to breathe, you are still getting a lungful of air. It may be harder to breathe. Why would it have less oxygen in it, you know? What happens? Does the mask, like, replace the oxygen molecules or something else?
I have asthma as well as extreme allergies, and I do have a hard time breathing in a mask, but I still wear that shit and haven't died. It's annoying,
Yeah.
not a death threat.
So, like, that's what I was trying to explain, like, the feeling of struggling to breathe that you have is not because you're getting a lack of oxygen, it's because it requires more suction to filter, like, the same volume of air in the same amount of time through the mask. You're not getting less oxygen, it just takes a little bit more effort to pull it through. Like, you know, the only thing that could possibly be giving you more CO2 is when you breathe out. Instead of the ambient wind or whatever blowing past your face, you've got like a little pocket of like breathed out air between your mouth and the mask, which, you know, takes a little longer to disperse. That would be the only thing that could do it. So what if you exaggerated that? How much do you need, you know?
Argument is, have you never put your face under your shirt because something stinks?
I was literally, that's the definition I said. Like, have you ever tried to sleep under your blankets, you know? Because it's cold. And they're like, oh no, you can't do that, you'll die. And I'm like, I literally sleep like that every single night, I'm fine, you know? Then there's like high altitude training that athletes do, and sure, yes, they are in peak physical condition, so you can't really compare people to that. But they apparently are breathing in oxygen levels less than 50% of usual. Which was really hilarious, because when I said I was just going to quickly Google that number, she said Google is biased. I'm like, okay then. Whatever. You know, that's how you tell that somebody's really on the deep end. They don't trust Google for random things that are non-political, like what the oxygen level of high altitude training is, you know? I mean, how could it be biased against that? I mean, sure, it could be showing you the more exaggerated numbers, but ideally it's telling you a range, depending on altitude. You could fact-check this against science, you know? He's endlessly sending me these videos about all of the political stuff as well, and I keep telling him, like, no, I am not going to watch these things. If you send me a video about, like, this is how a virus works, and it describes how a virus works, sure, I'll watch it. If it says, this is how a virus works, therefore this vaccine is bad and you should go for that one because this one's going to brainwash you, no. Just unbiased information about the facts, thank you. Remove all the politics from it. But yeah, he's literally sending me the stuff for the politics, and I'm like, nah. But anyway, so basically that's how his wife sees the things he's talking about.
I don't trust Google ever since it translated the Dutch word for dick as asshole.
Yeah. But yeah, he had his wife talking and him talking at the same time, and when I was asking the questions, he was like trying to correct her on certain things, because obviously, yeah, that's wrong. But that was what she got from him telling her stuff, and the videos he was showing, so it's just like, you know, you gotta, like, he's a Trump supporter too. He thinks Trump has not done a single thing wrong, and I'm like, no, he has said things which can be interpreted to mean other things, which is what the problem is. And he's like, no, you can't be held responsible for the words you say. And I'm like, he's the President of the United States. That is literally a thing that he should be held accountable. If anybody in the entire world is accountable for what they're saying, it's that guy. You know, it's like, no, you're wrong, like, you can't be doing this, it's not a legal thing and stuff. And well, now he's been taken off stuff and legal action's been taken, so it's like, but it's like, no. You have to think before you talk. How could these things be interpreted? What sort of ways? Are they interpreting things in this way? If so, change your argument. Change your wording, you know? Clearly, there's been misunderstandings. But no, he doesn't believe in all that stuff. Which is really annoying, because I got this other friend who has, like... he's a bit paranoid about everything. And, like... years ago, I was telling him, like, you know, he's having this whole paranoia episode thing about these certain particular topics, and, like, I really think we should not talk about this stuff to him.
Nearly every word used for cursing and cussing can't be translated from Dutch using Google.
Okay. Very unique words, I guess. But, yeah, so, like, I was telling him that, and then he literally, just literally to spite me, started talking about this stuff with the guy, and he's having panic attacks and things. I'm like, what the heck, man? Why are you doing this? And he's like, oh, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do something because somebody told me not to. I'm going to go out of my way to do it then and stuff. I'm like, he is literally having mental issues. what are you doing? But yeah, that friend's sort of not talking to him as much anymore because he's doing the same thing with the whole virus and stuff, and yeah, it's not good. It's like, why are you doing this? You're purposefully causing this guy harm. Just to get back at the system? What? Like, no. Anyway, so he does stuff like that. He's gone off the deep end. He's doing it more and more. So like his thing is the cure, the whatever you call it, when you get immunized against the virus, coronavirus thing, they're injecting you with a virus that's man-made by the government, which will then spread throughout the population because it's a virus. I mean, technically yes. I feel like they have a lot of countermeasures, but he could have some points to it. But then, for the sake of like population control and stuff, no. It's like, yes, when you get immunized against a virus, they inject you with a form of the virus. That's sort of a thing that happens.
He doesn't even live in the United
No,
States.
That's what I keep telling him. Like, this stuff literally does not affect you. You live out in a farm in the middle of absolutely nowhere, miles from anything. Why do you give such a damn about this stuff? Because literally every waking moment, and then some, he is researching this stuff non-stop. It's like, why? It's like, oh, because one day we'll be able to do something about it, and I will be able to do something about it, but you won't, because you won't even know what's happening. And I'm like, well, I'll leave my faith in the people who do know. Unfortunately, that's not you. But anyway. Yeah, because I am not going to be doing many, many years of research to try to understand the political stuff, like, of the government, and then come to conclusions like this. Because, like, I tell him these things because it's like, he goes on about, oh, this deal that the Australian government has done with China is because of this thing and that thing and global elite conspiracy things, and I'm like, what? Like, he was talking about one thing in particular recently, which, you know, I'm just questioning, I only know the information he tells me, but he was saying something or rather about how the Australian government is borrowing money from outside countries, which puts the Australian economy in debt. So they're eventually going to have to pay him back, and it's a benefit to, you know, Chinese people because everybody owes them money and they're going to have to pay back well more than it is, and it's bad for the economy.
Scary, though.
Yeah. I mean, it is pretty crazy. But, yeah, he was going on about that. It's like, what they should actually be doing is just minting more money, lowering the economy a bit, putting that money into, like, the public whatever the heck, so they build more renewable resources and refining things for, like, ore and stuff, so Australia can produce things again and then ship it away rather than shipping the raw materials and having it produced elsewhere and shipping it back. And I'm like, what is this got to do with borrowing money? Like, you could borrow money and do the second half at the same time. And like, why does this mean you why can't you borrow money and also do that?
Student
Like,
loans and mortgage debt are a far greater danger to the economy.
I get, yeah, if they were suddenly non-existent, the economy would, you know, be a lot less. The economy is based in the debts of the people. If that's what I'm assuming that's what you mean, because of how much student loans and things are. That's the American thing anyway. In Australia, you can do this stuff for free.
My bus games, not to mention utilities.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that stuff. Yeah, so I've never researched this stuff. I only know really what he's told me. But it's like, you know, a surface level examination of this information says that, you know, he's watched a video where they mention these things as if they're both the same thing. And I'm like, wouldn't it be better to, instead of minting stuff, lowering the economy, and then building the stuff to raise it later on, if you borrowed money from another country and built stuff to raise money to pay them back? Because that way your economy doesn't go down now, which means it'll be higher later. Even if you have to pay back, ideally the economy is high enough that that's actually a bonus. And he's like, no, but no. And, you know, he just got angry and didn't want to talk to me. And I'm like, you gotta, you know, if you want to convince me of something, you gotta convince me of this thing, you know? Because he wanted me to fill out a petition about it. And I'm like, what? How is that going to do anything again? Oh, the amount of people who want petitions filled out to stop the government from doing stuff. And I'm like, I don't think that's how governments work. Anyway. Like, I'm still waiting for anybody to show me a petition that changed something that wasn't
My bus
a
games.
generalized
Speaking
thing.
personally, I spend damn near all my income on paying down my loans.
Yeah.
I've had the same pair of shoes for the last decade.
I bought a pair of shoes recently. I say recently, like 3 years ago. But anyway, that was the first pair of shoes I've ever bought. I've been wearing the same shoes at school.
Mono, Billy, Chinese YouTube requires you to give them access to everything.
Oh, yeah.
My bus games, you lucky bastard.
Yeah, here in Australia, we have this thing called hex debt, where, there's also TAFE. There's a thing called TAFE, which is, like, starting education things, so, like, certificates, or... I think there's a thing before a certificate, but it's like Cert 3, 4, and sometimes a bachelor degree. You can go to those things for free, and the government will actually help you with bills and stuff in the meantime. They'll give you like mobility allowance if you don't have a car and you need to take a bus or something to get there. You get like $50 a month to do that as like a standard minimum. You also get rent assistance because you're doing your education, so you're not going to be able to hold down a job as well. So they'll give you rent assistance support for, you know, renting your house, which depends on the rent value of your house. Like, they'll give you more if your rent is more expensive. So it's great. Pretty much paying for the entire thing. They'll also give you a whole lot of other stuff. You know, you'll have food allowance and junk, maybe. But yeah, for other stuff, which is usually a bachelor and higher, and sometimes the certificates, you can go to like colleges and universities and things. I'm not sure what the difference between a college and a university is. As far as I understand, they're both the same thing, one's just American. But you'll see them interchangeably use the name sometimes. But yeah, you'll have a thing called a hex debt. So like, I tried to do a certificate for I did a certificate for in website design development at the TAFE thing.
My bus games. Here there is no difference, but...
Yeah. I feel like the difference is probably your accommodation, but I think that's relevant. One will provide you with like dorms and things, and the other one's more of a... But no, that doesn't sound right. I don't know. I'm just making assumptions. But yeah, we have a thing called hex debt. So I did a bachelor, or I tried to do a bachelor in game design and development, and it was absolute garbage. They were literally just doing it for the money.
I think it might be age and year into you'll say where.
Yeah, like one you'd go to after school, and one is, I don't know.
Mono, the difference is the country you're from.
Yeah, let's just say it's the difference in country.
My bus games. I am in the same boat T5 here.
Yeah, but yeah, the hex debt thing is, it doesn't cost you anything at the time, but you get this debt put onto your government things, where if you earn over a certain amount of money, it's basically like an extra tax that gets put onto it. So they will take, like, you know, a fraction of a percentage of your earnings, probably more the more you earn, to pay back your course. But if you never make over that amount of money, you just never pay it off. And when you die, it's just lost. They just forget about it. It doesn't continue to your descendants or anything. So it's really nice. And it adds together, it doesn't stack. So you could just continually do this stuff, and you may be, you know, working your entire life, but the amount they take isn't going to be like a life or death situation. It's not like you'll earn over a certain amount and now you're earning half the amount all of a sudden. But yeah.
My bus games. Arguably a good thing.
Yeah, well, I shouldn't even be on it because I failed the course because of a technical error because the principal was bad. Yeah, he told the teachers to not help the students unless they asked for help, and he must have said it in a way where they took him very seriously. Like, they would always be asking me in for meetings and stuff, like, to see how I was going. I thought it might be because I got in through a alternate way, by, you know, showing, rather than having the previous education, because I didn't finish high school and stuff. I did the certificate full thing in it.
If my kids don't inherit my debt.
Yeah, that'd be dumb. What is this, a religion? So, yeah, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, the principal said in a must have been a serious way. So, like, they would ask me in for meetings to see how I was going, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm doing fine. As far as I know, because at the very first day, he said the servers were being overhauled, so it might show that we're failing tests when we're not, which that was his type of humor. So I'm like, oh, okay. It shows I'm failing literally everything 100%. So that must be an error, because there's absolutely no way that's happening. And, you know, no teachers have said anything or anything like that, so I must be doing fine, it's just an error. And then it went all the way across, like, the term ended, and I'm like, it says I failed everything here. And they're like, oh yeah, you submitted your essays in the wrong format. And every class was basically essay-based. And I'm like, what? What does that mean, though? It's like, oh yeah, you had all the right content, you just used the wrong font, you know, font size and, you know, stuff like that. And I'm like, what? Why didn't you tell me this stuff? And the teacher says, because we're not allowed to help students unless they ask for help. Which the principal then overheard and said, oh no, you're supposed to help people. And they're like, oh, what? But you said. It's like, yeah, no, you're still supposed to help the students. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I don't have to pay for this term. If I get to pass this term, is the first thing I said, because if you failed, you had to repeat it and repay for it, which was something like $30,000 for the whole course, so it was like a sixth of that. So yeah, I'm like, I get to pass, right? He's like, no, you're gonna have to do it again. I'm like, well, I'm not paying for it though, am I?
At least 5 times I've been watching your streams for way too often.
Yeah, it's always the same things. I haven't had much happen in my life since then. Yeah, and he says, no, I have to do it again, and I have to pay for it again. So I was like, no, goodbye, and just left. Pretty much the entire class had left well before that point, because of how trash the course was. You know, like one of the classes we were doing, which was literally half of our classes, we were just playing things like Duck Duck Goose all day, you know, kindergarten-style games, like social game things. Which I can see the point of in a game design course. We're playing games, and then we alter the rules, and then we played a different game, and we altered the rules, and then we played a different game, and then we altered the rules, because that was all the teacher had to teach us. The course was very badly designed by the principal guy, who had never played a game before. Yeah, so on and so forth. It was trash. There's endless amounts of stuff about how unbelievably bad it was. So I've just lost all faith in the system. When it comes to education, like, it was supposed to be a 3-year course that was condensed down to 2 years.
I remember you saying the PCs were Apple.
All the computers were Apple computers. For some reason, he switched them all to that. They had Windows booted on them and stuff, but, you know. Originally, they had, like, an Apple lab and a Windows lab and, like, probably even a Linux. To pad it out, they were just literally giving us essays for the sake of doing essays, just to pad out the amount of work we had to do for them to legally be called a full-time course. Because if it wasn't full-time, they get less money from the government. Even though there was literally only 3 classes a week, and of those 3, you pretty much only really had to go to 1 every 2 weeks, because literally nothing was done there. It was just like, okay, do an essay. Absolute trash. But anyway. Want to hear about my games? If you're still there, who are you again? You start with a T. Mobius Games? Wait, was it Mobius Games? Why do I feel like his name started with a T? Are you a different guy? You're another different guy. Mobius Games, you still there? Why do I feel like that had a T in it?
Mono, show the cube. My bus names. Yeah, I am here.
Yeah, so, what in the world is on my Facebook right now? the thing... that's hilarious. Yeah, I think I quit all my tabs. I'm gonna bring open a new one. What one should I do googly stuff in? Let's just make a new tab and drag it over. Oop, there we go. Do anybody know what FDOS means? I got a friend who says FDOS like it's a slur, but I cannot figure out how what that's supposed to mean. It would be really hilarious if that showed just like 2 more results. I think I could. The mouse? No. I'd have to scroll up and find out. I can't be bothered. What do I call myself? So this is like one of my bigger games I've been doing. I have multiple games, multiple things I could work on. Let me know if you gotta go, because I can be ranting about this stuff for literally hours. But this was my current biggest game project that I've been working on, which uses my 3D game engine, which I built entirely line by line, letter by letter, entirely from scratch. Didn't even Google how to do anything. A whole normal spiel thingy. The beginning thing, that's rendering on the CPU. The rest of it's on the GPU. But you know, even though it's on the GPU, it's still my own code.
Bro, I am about to head to bed.
Okay.
AF for me.
Well, this is one particular game. If you wanted to help with. I'm not sure if it really is level design that I need, though. It's just design in general. But yeah, basically the idea of this game is I got a really low poly limit on my game engine. It's only about 1,000 polygons per frame can be displayed.
Mono, intro is the coolest thing. My bus games. Yeah, we need level design.
So, yeah, the idea of the game is it's a city builder, but instead of building buildings, you build on floating islands. So this is a floating island you start on, skipping past what everything is. So basically you'll be able to bring up, that's very laggy, you can bring up new floating islands that would be connected to this one and then designate them with some sort of a thing. So you could bring up one and designate it as a farm. And then you'll have like AI guys that wander around, do stuff, they live life cycles, have unique names, all that sort of junk. They go home at the end of the day, go to work, and blah blah blah. Generic stuff like that. So yeah, if I bring up and designate an island as farm, they'll go over there, build farm structures and things, and then farmers will farm the ground. You'd bring up another one, which would be like a bakery. So maybe a storeroom between, but you could make a bakery. So the farm can store a bit of stuff on its own. I guess it would be more like a refinery. I don't know. You could do all sorts of stuff. But anyway, the point is, they'd go farm on the farm, and then, you know, when crops are harvested, they would take it and deliver it off at the bakery. The bakery that would then make foods. And then every day people wake up, they might go to the bakery first to get food, and then do work, go get lunch, go back to work, and blah blah blah. Stuff like that. So eventually you build like bigger and bigger stuff. There's a whole lot of technical stuff about how things work, how, you know, branching works and stuff. But yeah, the entire island city that you build can also be flowed around a map. So you could go around different areas. When you call up a new island from the ground, it could be over a place which has larger amounts of iron or something. So that's how you would get an iron mine, and then you would use it up, get rid of the island, call up next one, sort of a thing. So you'd have like harvesting things and stuff. Anyway. Yeah, a game like that. That's the basic premise, I guess. There could also be dungeons, so you can dock your city onto like other giant floating landmass things. There's a whole thing about how people don't want to leave the floating island, only you can, and that's sort of why you're part of the king. And you could do like dungeons and get unique items and stuff. I don't know, just because you can. There could also be other islands that go past. You could have battles with them. You know, you could say pretty much anything you want, expand the scope of the game. Initially, it will just be the thing I said. You just build things, do stuff. There would be smaller stuff, like the initial story of the game, as far as I remember what I rambled about it being. There'll basically be like a pedestal thing that would be here, which I'm not sure about what its design is. That's the stuff that I need help with. But basically some sort of a pedestal thing which grows a crystal. I want no UIs in this game as well. Everything's physically based, as if, you know, real life. Which sort of throws a wrench in the works for how stuff would work. But yeah, it'd basically be like a crystal seed, which grows in the pedestal, and it takes a certain amount of time to grow it. Certain things could affect the amount of time it takes and stuff. And basically you grab that, and then you yeet it over the edge where one of these pillars are, and that would make the new island float up. So the idea is the crystal like grows, captures a chunk of the ground, and then floats it up, because electromagnetism or some junk. Which is also what the clouds are, because the clouds can hide the distance fog. It gives you an excuse for that. I got dynamic lighting and all that sort of stuff working, normal maps and things. Interact with stuff. You know, object highlighting. Anyway. So, dynamics. Sky. So, yeah, the first island you call up will have a guy on it which doesn't know how he got there. He's confused, just sort of like how you are when you start. And he'll be basically your scientist and show you how to do things. Or he'll discover things for you and then show you how to do things, or explain how to do things. So your first island you float up will have some new resources on it. You can use it to upgrade your stuff, so making like a better sleeping place. It's just all placeholder junk. I tried just making stuff as I required them rather than planning it, and it just makes it terrible. Didn't work. But yeah, you make a bigger base, and then he suggests how your farm might be a bit small. And then you'll bring up another island. It'll have some more materials on it. Once he figures out what the crystal's all about, it'll do like a whole thing. Your character doesn't say anything. He's basically the voice of the game. Yeah, and then you bring up another island. It'll have another lot of new resources on it. You can use that. And he's like, okay, why don't you make the island I came in on the farm? Because it seems to be third island stuff. And then it'll explain how you designate islands. You harvest the stuff from the new one, and then you could make it into like a housing thing because he wants to live on his own little island. Then I think I had it so you bring up a third one that'll have another new type of resource, more upgrading stuff, and then when you sleep, because I want sleep to be a thing, while you're sleeping, another island happened to float past, you know, and some people were on it, and they jumped across, and those are your first village guys. And you're like, oh, okay, we've got more people here, let's just expand the island for his one into like a proper housing one. We have that farm, we're able to feed them, and they can automate tasks for us, and he'll be like your delegation guy, as well as your scientist, I guess. So, yeah, that's sort of the first chunk of the game. They'll tell you some story about some anonymous thing that happened, which is why they were there and how to get off, and why they got off onto your island and things, and you know, and then you just continue on from there. So like these obelisk things are required to have connecting islands. You have one at each obelisk thing. There'll be like conduit power things for how things stay floating and all that sort of stuff. Anyway, so the thing I really need help for is the design of the buildings, design of the islands, like the architectural thing. I was thinking brutalist sort of architecture because it's simple, low poly, but it's hard to describe what the building is for at a glance. Rather than just having everything look like a big mess and you're always trying to figure out what you're looking at, which one do you go to. That's just a planning thing. The other thing is bridges between stuff is the other problem I'm having. Like, how do I create a bridge between two islands in a way that would fit this game? Because it's like, I need to be able to get to the island once I float it up. I was thinking like maybe crystal vines will grow out between the two islands. The altar, I'm thinking, would be like some sort of crystallized thing. You can upgrade it as time goes on to be other looking things, but generally it's like a crystal thing.
LMAO. Yay.
Hello. Yeah, I'm not sure what to do about that. And then, like, you could upgrade the bridge and things.
Mr. Ass-rated Mr. Shit.
Oh, man.
Quantum Apprentice. Lol.
I might have an average of one viewer this stream, actually. Maybe even higher. Although I still haven't even started doing work, and it's what, been an hour and 13 minutes. But yeah, that's the sort of stuff I'm having trouble with. Just the semantic sort of stuff of the game. Because at the very least, I need the bridges happening before I can do any other progress.
Came in with 9 cheeky smiley face.
9? Whoa. Unfortunately, this is the most exciting part of the stream, what I'm doing now.
Zizeth, 2 already left.
Oh. Bumpy. But anyway,
Mono, I'm a go.
Oh. Man, you ain't even on Twitch. You didn't count as a viewer, damn it. Probably still gonna be less than 1. It's been on the map.
Zizeth, because there's a law where QA led them and they're like, nope, and left.
Okay. Anyway, any questions? If you're there. You did say you were really tired and wanted to go to bed. I'm not sure if you went to bed. But yeah, it's this sort of stuff, because the islands need to be far enough away that they don't influence the poly count too much, so they ideally are behind the clouds.
Quantum Apprentice. Yeah, you know Jason, right?
Nope. I mean, maybe. Who? Use language? I don't know. This could be many things. I could see that easily being the name of a user, but I'm assuming you mean JSON language.
LMAO, how you don't know JSON?
What about JSON? I mean, the only thing I use in JSON is just the stringify and whatever the heck. That's JSON, right? Or jQuery. JSON?
There are only object, string, number, boolean.
Okay. This is all done in JavaScript, though. Line by line, letter by letter. Apart from WebGL for the graphics card stuff.
I've been trying to change a JSON file to allow my compiler to create an object file in VS Code.
Okay.
Zeth. Okay, let me call you.
What? How do... why are you going with this?
Quantum Apprentice. Lol, call me? Oh, okay.
The magic trick. I can move the flame off the torch. How wobbles like that? Some things are like a pixel higher or lower. But that real Doom feeling. But any particular way, that's one of the projects that is sort of far along. I've done a lot of planning in. I've got like probably 5 or so other ones, but I'm assuming you're not even here anymore because you didn't announce it before. Let me know if you're here. Want to hear more. I'm assuming you probably fell asleep though. Yeah. The flames just look so nice. I really like the pixelized style. Like, it really does have an aesthetic to this, which I really like. It's an accidental aesthetic. That's the best way you do it, because I can't plan these things. It's a lesser form of the accidental aesthetic, though. It looks better on the ship game. Wait, which ship game is this? I don't know. Hmm. 50-50 chance. That one. Yeah, ship game. I think this is peak aesthetic with this style. Low poly, baked textures. Got something around here that has color downstairs. There we go. Lettuce. Lettuce farm. Is that physics? Can't jump. No, I got it disabled. Bam. What? Okay. Oh yeah, because the object is this section here as well. I literally just have the staircase split into 2 halves. You can sort of see the seam part with the glitchy textures, the glitchy rendering, as I had back there. Then I literally just step on one half. If I have a collision with this, it loads the top half of the ship. If I have a collision with that, it loads the bottom half. Stand in the right place, you can see the change. Love it. It works so flawlessly. No door animations. Not sure how to do the door animations though, because I can't have it revealing the light coming out as the door goes up. I could just not. But I feel like lighting would be somewhat of an important information to know within this game. Yeah, I'd have to rebuild my entire engine from the ground up almost to be able to do this stuff again, because I can't have transparency anymore like I did back then. My code is heck a lot more efficient, and that efficiency required removing it. Literally just do not have the bits to be able to contain it. Like, at most, I could have 1 layer of transparency, but that's at most. This room? Yeah, that's the highest poly room. See the shadow of the object that's supposed to be here. but isn't. I didn't have separate objects working with animations back then. That's the highest poly count you can have. Look at all of that raw data. Isn't it pretty? At a per face basis for what was in the field of view. The per object basis now. Much simpler on the calculations. I think this one was more GPU heavy and technically more CPU heavy, but now I've made it way more CPU heavy, but also less at the same time, and then a heck of a lot less GPU intensive. Anyway, I should probably get back to doing things then, or get started on the doing things, because I haven't done that part yet. Ugh. How is it hot? Like 25 degrees. This is the perfect... I've gotten too used to colder temperatures now. I wake up and it's like 13 degrees and it's like, huh, barely feel it. I feel like this year might be cooler. I don't think we're going to have like the 40-degree temperatures this year for some reason. Well, I mean, maybe for a day, but not for like weeks on end like it was last year. Year before.
Quantum Apprentice, 25 degrees, hot. What are you? Celsius.
Yep. That's what I'm saying, I've gotten used to the colder stuff. Like 24 degrees is my ideal temperature, because chocolate's not melting, you know? Ideally, anything below the melting point of chocolate is my ideal temperature. It gets annoying after that, because you eat chocolate and it's just melting all over the place. Nobody likes that. You're not even eating the chocolate, it's just like smeared within the packets. No. All this is chocolate.
Quantum Apprentice, I'm Fahrenheit.
There. Freedom units. So yeah. Like last couple of years it's been getting to what was like 120 or 130 Fahrenheit, something like that. That's how hot it's been here. Like that sort of heat, things are melting. Rubber bands melt, which is very annoying if you have a stack of rubber bands laying around that you forgot about. Roads are melting. Literally everything's on fire. That was a fun time. There was so much fire in Australia that the smoke literally circled the earth. Fun times. Let me do. So I gotta join this part at the bottom. Do that.
Quantum Apprentice,
top.
Are you in EU, UK, Canada, or somewhere else that speaks English and uses Celsius?
Australia, mate. Good day. Bloomin' onion. America's weird.
Ah, dang else.
Yeah, everybody assumes UK.
Missed that one cheeky smiley face.
Yeah, I have the accent of the internet, I say. I do not sound like your generic Australian. And, oh boy. That heavy Australian accent. I really can't do a... For a while, I could recreate that accent,
Hey,
but then I like...
knife.
That's not a knife. This is a knife. Yeah. I could recreate the accent at one point, and then I just sort of... I parodied it too much, and then the parody became the accent, and I forgot the original. I haven't heard somebody speak like that for a long time. You do hear it on the radio. It's so funny how when you listen to the radio, like, it's the stereotypical Australian... You know, you could hear the birds in the background, like the kookaburras and the... whatever the heck the other one is. The two, like, you know, Australian sounding things. I don't even know what to Google for that. Who was there? Was a guy. That guy.
Quantum Apprentice, linked here.
What was that? Is this a channel? Oh no.
Quantum Apprentice, it's a clip of you.
Party for hundreds of kids while his unsuspecting parents are on holiday.
Where's the music at?
16-year-old Corey Worthington is now facing not only the wrath of mum and dad, but a $20,000 fine from police. I spoke to him a short time ago.
How's it goes?
Corey, thanks for joining us. The only question that I can think to ask is, what were you thinking?
I wasn't really.
Did your parents?
That's a
say you
normal
could have
sort of
party?
Australian accent.
No.
So
I didn't.
why did you?
I don't know, it was just a get together with a couple mates at first, and then we thought we might as well just have a bit of a party, and then it sort of just got out of hand, and yeah.
Well, 500 people turned up, the air wing of the police force, the dog squad, your neighbours' cars were being destroyed. What have your parents had to say, Corey?
I haven't really talked to them because every time they call, I don't answer, because yeah, they'll probably try to kill me.
So that's a short-term strategy. You're going to have to talk to them eventually. What are you going to say?
Sorry.
Are you sorry?
Yeah, I am.
You don't sound very sorry.
But I can't be exactly blamed for everything that happened because it wasn't in the house, it was out in the street, and I didn't do it. Like, the police said, you stay inside so you don't get in trouble, so I did what he said, so...
Why don't
Your
you take
average
this
Australian
opportunity now
bloke.
to apologise to your parents and to your neighbours who have said today that they were frightened?
Well, I've already offered like to say sorry to them and stuff when I see them, so I will say sorry now for everything that happened.
Why don't you take your glasses off so we can see you? And then apologise to your neighbours for frightening them.
Nah, I'll leave these on. Nah, I like them.
They might be fined $20,000. Are you going to try and pay that for them?
Yeah, but I don't think it's fair they'll be fined it because what happened, it was my party, but it could have just been any random person walking in the street doing it. What happens all the time.
Your parents were out of town, you put out the invitation, you started it. Why don't you
Quantum
make
Apprentice
a grown-up decision
sounds like a
now
typical
and accept
cancel culture reporter.
responsibility, take off those glasses, and apologise to everybody that you frightened, to the police who were forced to retreat and whose cars have been damaged, and to the community who've had to pay for this. Take off your glasses and apologise to us.
I'll say sorry, but I'm not taking off my glasses.
Why not?
Because they're famous.
Because your glasses are famous.
Yeah,
Why are your glasses famous?
I know, everyone likes them, so I know, I'm not taking them off.
You're pretty happy with the way you
That's
look
so
and the
funny.
attitude you've got, are you?
Yeah, my parents aren't, but I am.
Okay, Corey, we've got to wrap this up, but what would you say to other kids who were thinking of partying when their parents are out of town?
Get me to do it for you.
You to do it for you, not don't do
Yeah.
it.
Nah, get me to do it for you. Best party ever so far. That's what everyone's been saying, so...
Well, we've got to go, but I suggest you go away and
Oh my
have a
God.
hard look at yourself.
I have. Everyone has. They love it.
Corey Worthington.
Oh no, we're completely out of carrot sticks.
Oh, that's so funny. He must be like so stoned this thing. He doesn't take off his glasses because it's probably eyes are just like destroyed.
Quantum Apprentice, nice.
Yeah, that's your generic like Australian sounding guy and girl. Usually the only other thing is the sound of the birds in the background. Yeah. I don't know if it maybe. I guess magpies as well. You hear those all the time. Are magpies Australian? I don't know. Wow. Yeah, that. I guess they are Australian. Yep. I mean, that's not the only sound they make. That was one of the sounds. I can't even be bothered trying to spell the other ones. You got magpies, you got kookaburras, and then like this bird that just makes like a high pitched like I can't even remember. No, can't remember the sound it makes. I could recreate the sound really, really well. Like, Granddad was all about making bird calls and stuff like that. He could, like, literally call birds, like, to him. He used to do photography and all that sort of stuff, so he could just, you know, make a bird sound and birds would come just flying on over. So I always tried to make, like, recreate the bird sounds and things like he used to, but nowhere near as good. But, yeah. Classic Australian background sound. Can't remember what the other one is. It's just lost. Whatever. Anyway, let's try to do something. I wanted to ideally be done with something by now, and then I was going to go head out, but whatever. Music. So, mesh bottom fill, blah blah blah. We duplicate it from one side to the other mirror. We put it all into the base thing. That should be fine. Yep. Where's the fill part happen? I guess it happens in the fill. Okay. And that just happens with the bottom one. So the bottom one's gonna have to return the group. Same way as the top fill. Yeah. Return group. So we just want to forget about all this junk. I guess I'm going to have to give it an edge to start working from. I usually just call that groups. Because now we have a dimension to it, it's not just these 2 points. So, yeah, it's going to need to be from that to there. So basically I just want to move them all out by the amount, as that thing sort of does. Okay, let's give it the group. Okay, and how exactly would I do that? Group equals... I guess if I do a loop... I feel like this thing would be a nice thing just to have in general for the fill that I'm about to do. because I need to join all these together afterwards. So if I have this edge and I have that edge, and then I have the group of both of those things, I just merge half with one, half with the other, there you go. It can just treat that as a loop, so I could have it going up and down rather than side to side for when it does the fill. It doesn't have a top part to do, so it's all good. Love the shine it has. How smooth it looks. Nice bevel edge. Look at that bevel. I can't wait to make it and print it all out. I ended up cleaning my printer finally. It seems to still be all intact. I emptied out the resin that's been sitting there for the last couple of months. A real pain to clean. I don't think I've fully cleaned it, but it's cleaned enough. It should be fine. It had little things in it though, which I'm hoping won't be causing a problem. I'm assuming when it does a print, it will just pick those things up, so I'll just have to do like a cleaning print. Yeah. So my printer seems to be good. It's a lot of resin, because I literally just filled up the vat and printed like 1 or 2 things before I stopped using it, and I'm not sure if I can use the resin that's been sitting there all this time. Like, it's been sort of exposed to air, it would have evaporated somewhat, and then a whole lot of the stuff like fell out of solution, and I don't know. I guess it's there if I ever want to use it in the future. Oh man, this song? What about the song the other day? I listen to this so damn much. It's on repeat. Now I'm gonna... So we want to loop through that. Okay. So what exactly is that? 0 should be that one, and then we've got to determine whether or not bevel is there. Okay, it should be easy. Wait. Should I make a group for the top, the side, or the bevel in the side? Would make this end fill a whole lot cleaner. And this. I could remove a whole lot of conditions if I do it too. But then also adds a lot of complications. That was the Fortuna update for Warframe. Best trailer. It's what you see when you first enter the area. So good. I really want to play Warframe again, but it's just such a... like... it just sucks the life force from you, you know, and it doesn't give anything back in return. It's just simply time that ceases to exist of your life. That's what playing that game is. Same with whatever that other one is. Genshin Impact. One day. I don't know about Warframe though. I put like thousands of hours into it, and it's like literally, like, you gotta play non-stop, and I'll just be seeing all these things that I can't get, that I missed out on, that I could grind for, but like, if I'm not willing to do the grind, is there a point in playing? Like, I can check out the new content, but what's it matter if I'm not going to be getting its things? Anyway, what do we do? So yeah, the easiest-ish way to do that, but I sort of do need it on both sides. If I create a thing, it would be nice. So what am I thinking? So I could get this entire top part. I can get the side bevels, the bevel, blah blah, the bottom part. I could also get loops going around that way. But then I would have to name and define each of these things. I mean, all I want is that edge and that edge, though. But it's like to get them, because 0 is this. I technically want 1, but only if it's a bevel. Then I would want negative up to depth detail. And then an extra 1 if that bevel's there. But then I'll have to also get it from the other side for the sake of filling. But it's not required, because I can't just... I don't know. I'll have to do the math for both sides, even though I only need 1 until the fill. So I could just do 1 now and store it, or I could not and then get it again when I require doing the fill. Or I could get them both now and store them somewhere. Which feels like the better thing, but it just sort of pads out this area, because really all of this should be inside of that. Which I do want to move it to, but it requires then defining things in a static way. Because like this does what it does. There you go. I don't know. Whatever. I want to loop through truth side? Yes. Really? Okay. No. I want to loop through detail depth. The depth detail, because I can just get the other parts now. So if the bevel is greater than 0, then the first thing I would want is this thing 1. Where am I at? So group dot append this thing 1, and then this would go through the depth detail, and then sort of, well, I mean, I guess I could do this afterwards then. So this will go through the depth detail. We will append everything into here by I. So this thing 0 minus I. So we want 0 to whatever the depth thing is, and that should give me that one down to this one. So if we got the bevel, we also want that one and that one at the start and end. So we can just do that within here by getting 1 and negative this thing. Should be fine, because that's a length, not an index, and we want 1 after its length, so that should be fine, except I want it on the other side. So we want to append that one, but this one is group equals this plus group. And I just want to put that like that. I believe that should be fine. I mean, if I'm doing that, I could also just add this to the end, but whatever. So that should put it on the front, which I believe is supposed to be like a push or something. I don't know. And then we want group, and then we want that at the end. So that should give me the whole thing. And then that's what I want to dump through here. Let's forget about that for now. We just want that, okay? This might also be a little bit more complicated, because we want these to have rows that go vertically. Should be fine. Okay. So now what I gotta do is figure out what the heck's going on here. Why do I have 2 lots of this thing? Basically all I care about is the math. So ignoring the loop, I have a vertice, I want to guess rotate it around like that, that's its new location, we add it in, and append the vertice. So this would just be that. No, yes, but no. Okay, I'm gonna have to mess with this. We don't care about the bevel, and I'm assuming this is the mirrored version. I don't know why it's a separate thing, but okay. Well, I guess I didn't have the mirror thing before. So that simplifies that all down. Then we would want to loop this thing for the mirror, but we don't care about the mirror right now. We just want to do that, and for now we just shove that into an array because it's going to have a multi... No, we do care. What do we care about? Okay, so I'm going to have to be looping through this, and also looping through... What? Also looping through this. Okay. So I do this one first and then that one, because that will basically just... whatever. It'll create a thing around. And then another one around. So they're all in this sort of an order. Okay. So each one of those we'd want to say group.append. We do not want that to start at that. I guess we do want this one to start at that because the first one's already there. So it's very cloudy. I feel like it's about to start pouring out with rain. Sort of want to go out. I have not been walking enough. Last like 4 days, I don't think I've done anything, damn it. Has it really been that long? I was gonna go out... No, I was taking a break. I took a break day, and then the next day I was trying to do laundry and stuff, but I got stuck in conversations with people, phone calls and stuff. So it didn't happen then. And then I guess it was yesterday, now today. So this is the 4th day I haven't been out. I'm trying to go out every damn day. Getting later and later. Already waking up at like 10 in the afternoon. Not good. But I did go out 4 days in a row, which is unheard of. Every other day is what my goal is. I wasn't hungry enough to go out before I started streaming. I have to have an ulterior motive. So yeah, we want to append a spot into that. Then we want to loop through this, so we don't want to be doing that. The bottom vert in this case, we will just call loc. A. Loc original. Or alternative. And you are groups. Groups A. And that gives you a vert, that's you. So we want to rotate this around, blah, 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 blah. That math should be all good. Location is then rotated around. Times I, sure, whatever. Slightly annoying because I have to get the rotation and then do that, and then get a new rotation and do it again, and then I have to do the whole thing again and again and again. It'd be nice if I could just store this for each one of the things. I could do it, but I'm not gonna. There's many optimizations that could be made, as always. Ideally, I make it work, and then I go through it all and optimize, but so rarely does it ever get to that point. So much random junk usually happens that it's just not worth it. It works in weird, mysterious ways that can't really be optimized. So yeah, then we want to append length of verts. No. Yes. Append length of verts to the group. And this would be group I. And then put the vertex in here. With the Z of whatever the vertex, yeah. Had. Okay. And then we return the group. So that should. Wait. I didn't stick it in an array, did I? Nope. Just group. So then that will spit out wherever it is. A phone call. Oh, it's my mom again. I gotta answer this one. Grab here. Well, my mum's having internet troubles again. Waiting to hear back from her. I had this going on in the background. Just resetting everything. Ooh, I hope I make this. Just gotta get to area 150, but I'm only up to 130. Although I haven't been using the things or anything. Usual, probably only one person doing damage, yeah. Oh wow, bear chomp didn't do anything. It's still alive. There we go. That's not looking good. Can't complete anything in this game, it's all too high level for me now. It says I should be able to do it easily, but nope. Where it gets its stats from. And I suppose if I leave it running for like a week maybe. I feel like that should be easy though. Seems to be the most powerful configuration as well. I feel like that should be switched, but no. Wow, I'm only doing 30? What? I was doing 40 before. Oh. Oh. Well, powerful, but this is literally my tank. Oh, I can make her more powerful though. Taken longer than I thought for my mum to ring me back. He's doing the damage now. Job done. What if I rearrange them to be like this? She gains extra power for everyone next to her. So that's almost 23. I don't really want to rearrange them back again now. I'm just going to assume that this is more efficient. I think I just doubled the damage. Not that that's going to help, because it's still so far to go. Whatever. Back to doing things. So, yeah, so that does that. It loops through the thing. 0 minus 1. First one is 0, all the way down to 1 less than that, which should be all the way down the side. From there to there. And then if there's a level, I also want to get 1 and that one, so that should be there and there. In the correct orders. Then I pass that through there. That'll loop through, create the group goes through here, job done. What happens? I feel like I should keep these. So I shouldn't see any mesh until edit mode vertices. No. And no duplicates. Okay. I did save it. Should be running the right one. How did that not work? Like, regardless of anything here, as long as this has its information, which it should have something, then as long as this is happening, we should have vertices that appear regardless of anything else. So again, we have groups, we have group, we loop through the amount of join details, which is like 5 or something. Group append, and then we loop through groups 1. No. That's the thing that starts as a 1, which means this is a -1. Okay. And that thing is fine, so we loop through the groups. Groups A will be the first thing. This is just an array. Vertices, whatever. We get a location. We do whatever the heck this does to get a rotation, and the rotation times I is offsetting its location. Oh, this is 2D. We have 0, 1 loci. Okay. 519. Apparently that has no length. How could that have no length? Group is empty for I in range length. That's not a length, that's a value. In range of that, and then if this... I mean, at the very least, these should have gone through. So if self-bevel is greater than 0, which it is, then mesh tooth side 1 and this array are joined together, and then we append that. So regardless, it should have had something. Two, 2, 0. Now it's complaining about this. Alright. Somehow this isn't what it's supposed to be. Do I have a console open? I don't think I do. No, it didn't. Okay. Well, we are getting a log of a heck of a lot of stuff. Too much stuff. I can only assume that was from here. Okay, that seems to be dumping through a heck a lot more than it's supposed to be. Oh, because that's more than it literally is. That's a 0. And that's a 0. And that's a 0. There we go. Bam. Okay. We have some amount of stuff that seems very wrong. Why do we only have 2 rows? And why is that one so different? So this should contain... Where'd the bevel go? There's no bevel. Make my bevel smaller. You know what, let's keep it as it was. Okay, well now we got the extra 2. So that seems wrong. Did I put the print there? So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 unique things. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Range. What? So we loop through the detail. And that's minus from this. So detail is... Detail depth is 5. That would be correct. I have 7, so I should have 5 plus 2. What? So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plus 2. Okay, and that's probably why I always have to put a +1 onto this thing. I haven't tested to see what this is like to 0. Sort of implying that there's going to be a middle thing no matter what. Anyway, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes. All of the variables. Nope, the last 2 are the same. Okay, the last 2 are the same. I'm assuming it's going down here, which is why this doesn't look right. Sort of implying that 0 is not where I think 0 is. Okay. What if I don't do this? And I did that. It's not so. Oh yeah, because it's 0 is there, but then it gets stuff put in before, so it's wrong. Okay. On folly. I should probably test it first. So what I should be doing is minus this. Or this. Minus 1. And that should put it up here. Well, I feel like it's a minus 2 actually. No. Alright. So the point is, that should be the same regardless of bevel. If I remove the bevel, that should still be fine. Yeah. Yeah? Yeah. Okay. So that should be this minus I. That minus I for that, and then this one would be, in this case, this not minus 1, and that would be just minus 1, or is it minus 2? Okay, I'm assuming one of these here, yeah. Minus 2. There we are. That should be perfectly all aligned. And, there's the phone. Oh, I completely forgot. We're back.
Quantum Apprentice, Mike. Five TH function, on phone. Quantum Apprentice. Oh, okay, thought you were done.
Back. Yep, back, yep, I'm back. Oh, the music stopped. I didn't realize. Yeah, me mom was calling. Having internet troubles again. What was I up to? Okay, yeah, so I got all of the things doing the thinginess now. Next. Yep. Anybody else anything? Oh god, I'm hungry now. She was talking about food, and now I'm like, oh yes, that's right. I want to go out and get food from the city or something, just for the sake of walking. But now it's cold, and it's getting dark, and I smell. I'm probably going to be staying in. Just have some soups. What am I looking for right now? Tab to what now? I'll just get my tabs back in order. This one, that one, and the music. Okay. And then we have that. And then we have this. Okay. So, that seems to be all working. So let's get the fill working, I suppose. I think I'm just going to duplicate this thing. So if I grab that, and... I mean... there's no problem with that, is there? I don't see why that would be a problem. Why don't I just group all this stuff up together? I mean, duplicates in this doesn't matter. That way when I just run it through the fill thing, it just runs through the fill thing. I don't have to find this stuff again. Huh. Okay. I'm just gonna have that formality. But yeah, okay, so instead of doing this, I'm gonna have to put each of these into an array. Because they're the first index for what then goes through the blue. That's the first lot of indexes that then go through this thingy. So rather than this thing doing that, we just go through this. So this would just be this thing 0. And the group that it gets into is just that. I don't see why that shouldn't be working. For the sake of the formality. Okay, whatever. So then in the fill thing, what exactly is this group called? I mean, that would make so many things more easier if I did this with the side filling one too. The end filling thing, but whatever. I'm not going to be recoding something that works fine. Although convolutedly, so. So, I just want to loop through the length of this. So this thing I, and then I'd want to loop through this thing I believe this should be fine. So if I then do this, let's grab the stuff from one of these top ones. A nice untainted version of it. Because that should literally just be that. If I've done this right... Oh. Did I not save? I did save. So I'm looping through the length of toothpaste, and then I'm looping through the length of toothpaste I. That gives me the I and the A. I should actually have to do a -1, don't I? Yeah. Technically should have just broke, but clearly these are empty. And then it's just that would fill the quads, faces, appends. Gets back down there. This is plus equals group. No, this is still a bit more complicated. I'd only be wanting to do half of one of these things, but anyway. Well, I mean, technically I could have like a left and right, whatever. Anyway, what am I doing? So, blah blah blah. It'd be easy if I had a left and right. But then it still doesn't have this thing put in. It would have the... Yeah, that would have the first index of the previous one. So I'd want to remove the first indexes of the one that was this one and add in the index of the other one. So that complicates things a little bit more. I don't want to run this whole thing again, which is what I could do. I could just flip it. And there you go. But because I have to recalculate all those rotations, where a mirror is simpler. It would be best if I just remove the first index and replace them. Okay, so yeah, why isn't that not working? I can only assume it's because I did this. And something bugged out with its return. Hey, there we are. Perfect. Look at that. I'd sort of want to mark sharp this, and also that. But that's a whole other issue. I believe that's the one I want to mark sharp, yeah. Okay. So... Bam! Okay. So then this would do the mirroring. I feel like this should work. Unless where I copied it from wasn't good enough. It would work from this one. I don't want to add it back to itself though. I don't think I did anything special with it. Yeah, so it's just looping through the group. So this is just taking a thing and then well, taking a group and then mirroring it, not a group of groups. So I don't care about the bevel part. I should probably do this after that. Well, let's shove an L onto this. And an R. I don't know why I'm not just doing a 1 and a 2, but whatever. L and a R. L. And I'll do the R later. Okay. So then I do this. I hear police sirens. I'm like, is that part of the music or what? So got the L plus group range blah. So yeah, what? Okay, we're looping through this. G. Reverse it. We don't want to be doing the reversing thing. We can ignore that. So we're looping through group. The thing we want to do is group I is what we want to mirror. And then we would want to be putting it into a new thing. Sure. Let's say group 2 is equal to that. Group 2 dot append. And then this would be group 2I. Okay. So grabbing the things from group, the original group, we're mirroring them and then dumping them into group 2. Okay, I would like to remove an index beforehand. Because it's technically mirroring one extra vertice that it doesn't need to, but I feel like the extra code to remove that one vertice before looping would be worse. I can simply replace it otherwise. I can't simply remove it because it would be removing it from the original because it's an instance. I'd have to write out and make a deep copy of this thing, which is, you know, looping through everything. It's already looping through it all. It'd be, yeah, it's simpler just to keep it there. So I should just be able to mirror it like that. I believe this is automatically adding it to vertices. And then we're just putting that into R. Okay, so this should have this side be exactly the same. But the other side has that. And it'll have a duplicate there. Yeah. Okay. It's so weird making progress like this after so much time not doing it. My standards are so low, it's just insane. Okay. So let's try to do that before then. So, oh boy. We want to do this thing again. No, this thing again. So now we can reuse group. I suppose we should have a bit of a space here. Really should probably put comments on stuff. I'll wait till I go through everything. Hopefully I don't take a large break again. Forget about everything. So... oh, my feet are just getting good again. I really should be walking around. It's still not too late. I'll go until at least 6. I'm not too hungry. Nah, I'm too hungry, that's the problem. I need a shower. Showers tomorrow. Stupid is. Should be wandering around, rolling on the ground. Yeah. So, oh my god. Ah. So we do the mirror, then we want to do this, except this is a different number, which is complicated. Because I need to add an offset if this exists to that. Which I guess if I'm going to be doing that, O equals 0, O equals 1, then I may as well be doing this in here, which can now just be append. And yeah, we want to be appending this thing. Yeah, all that. No, just that. So we want to append an array that has this thing, and this is going to want to be our first one. Okay, so this one's going the other way around. So this one was the top part. Now we want it over here. So we should just have to plus this whatever times 2. I think if I could somehow make this easier to display, but whatever. Because we should probably just not even worry about that. It doesn't need to be an extra array. So this thing plus self dot detail join times 2. I think there's a -1 in there. Never know order of operations. Times it by 2 and then -1 from it. And then ideally that should jump it across to that side. This is in the case of a bevel, so that is where we want to be. I believe that should be fine. What could I do here to make this obvious? I could move it. Okay, so how about we don't do that, but we do grab this, and we say verts, whoops, that vert, whoop, and 2 plus equals 5. That should be noticeable. Tooth side. Oh, what? Oh, yeah. Tooth side. Oh, we want this. Zero. Okay. Yeah. I want to go one further. 5 is very large. I did say it would be noticeable. So, not -1 apparently. Don't question it. Yeah. That was that one there. Okay. So that is what that is. And then the end one should be simple. I don't think I should bother checking. Eh. So that's where we start. We want to replace, so we would say another loop. Okay, we want to loop through group in this case. Length of group, and then we would want to say group 2 I 0 equals group I. There we go. That should be fine. Oh, for a second there I thought I made a horrible mistake at some point. Should be fine. I may have made a mistake on the ordering of which one in particular is 0. It might still actually be going sideways when I want it to be going vertically. I really don't know. That should be fine. Yeah, and that's what 2 is. Okay. So that should just technically work as is. So if I was to run that, we have all of these dots, and that one is a duplicate. But this one is still a duplicate, okay. Oh. That's because I've been... because I literally made them duplicates. Whatever. I'll pose a join, feel free to ask questions if you want to know what's going on. I'm getting a lot of new names lately. Although I do feel like you're a bot. I feel like literally everybody knew as a bot. You're a bot until proven not guilty. Yeah, so when I'm doing the mirror, I'm mirroring them all, including the first index, which I don't want to be doing. That's a problem. That's saying that I can't be doing that. I'm going to have to do the delete loop to remove them, which means this is no longer a that. It would be more of a this. I mean, it's not the worst thing to have happening. Where'd the mirror go? Okay. You know what, let's use that map thing. How do we use map? I know map's a magical thing that this can do. Can I map it so it's just everything but index 1? Oh, I could use the map to make a whatever you call it, a copy. Can't I? This is not as fancy as I remember map looking. That's a new site. Oh yeah, because I could just put the function directly in it. I don't have to have the function as a separate thing. That's why it doesn't look right. Nope. Like W3. Alright, yeah, so I just put the function in there, and then that would be my... Why is it round brackets? Let's... Let's not worry too much about that. Okay, I'm confused. Can that just be an array? Okay. So if I just said return A, I only had one of them. Not expecting that to take so long. Oh. Takes a while, isn't it? That work the same? Yeah, okay. And then I assume... I feel like there's something else you could do rather than saying this. There's some way you can put that in here. I mean, was it literally just this? No, that's not right. I need some more information here. Yeah, here we go. Where does that magic word come from? Okay. So if I do that, I do this, and just nothing, it. Just say 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And then X 0 delete. And no, that doesn't work. I also want to know what this is. Oh, hang on. What I just print, it does that thing. Whatever. I just want to know that these two things are definitely separate and it's not instanced around. Huh. Map object. I'm assuming this got a complaint about that. No, it didn't. Okay. There you go. I just like it because it's tiny. Where that would normally be a number of lines long. Okay. Uh-huh. Let's just stick with my normal usual A. That is what that is. This is A. Delete A0. Okay. So we're making a thing, we're making a duplicate of this that's not instanced. We're deleting its first index, and then we're dumping it through there. There we go. Okay, so now that should have a duplicate. No, great. None of these should have duplicates. Perfect. Wait. Okay. No, that didn't look right. Great. But it's understood within here that that one has that thing, so that's great. Now I just need to continue this down, which is annoying because I won't actually see a response. I'll just see an error. It doesn't work. So we know that that is our first index. So I believe that's maybe why I had the +1 at the end there. We just want to do that plus I. And that should loop through all of that stuff. Okay. And then because I need O to... Oh, damn. Nope. Hang on, we've got to figure out O first. Okay, let's just figure it all out. I knew I shouldn't have deleted that thing. But our first index, 0. Why does that not feel right? Oh, because it's the whole thing. All of that in here. 2 plus 0.1. I guess we'll have it be the 1, some other axis. What? Hello before. Oh, plus equals. Okay. Perfect. That pulls that one aside. But it's not going to be right if I remove the bevel. No. Okay, that should be 2 lower than it was supposed to be. Wait. Okay, so I actually want that the other way around. So we should just have to say plus O plus O. No, minus O, minus O. It's only 1 lower. Okay. Minus O. Okay. No. Is it too low? Wait, where is that connected? No, that's right, yeah. Yeah. Probably fine. So that needs to be added to there. I mean, it doesn't actually need to be added to there, but if I'm going to be using that same variable for everything, I'm going to add it to there. So that's just going to be a 0 in that case. No. Wait. Hell, so that is... Yeah. That would be a -0 plus 1. Because we already got this one. The first one of that is... No. -0. Which is what it is. Yeah. Because that other one doesn't happen unless it... whatever. So yeah, it should be this one. Okay. So yeah, that should be the same as that. It's just doing the -0 thing. I mean the plus 1. Okay. So that part should be valid. The next thing is where the end is, which should be this thing. Except I is this is D. Oh. Plus, no, it's just straight up that. Okay, so that should move out this bottom one. Okay. Technically, yes. Plus O. 1 O? 2 O's? What says 2? Okay, add the bevel back. Yeah. So, plus O. What? What am I changing? Oh. Oh. Plus 2 times O. Well, I mean, technically it would actually be fine. Wait. But then it, okay, so yeah, because this is going to be in a thing of its own. I should just need to plus 2 in this case. So that is the one that I want, yes. And if there's no bevel, this is irrelevant because this goes where the bevel thing goes. Which is in here. And we don't have 2 of these. Just get rid of them entirely. Add that, but we want it to have this part. In here. Okay. It should be fine, maybe? I didn't actually test this for the other side. So that's with the bevel. That's not with the bevel. That looks fine. Looks all good. Interesting how that one's the selected one, but whatever. Okay. And now we add... I hate this, because there's no way I can know if this works until it just gives me an error, and then I don't know what that error is about. We just switched that out with ours. Nope. Yeah, that's what I was expecting. Okay, where the heck did this thing go wrong? Okay, let's remove that, and then it should be fine. Yeah. Let's say when this thing happens, let's just say that whatever, let's say 1 plus equals 0.2. 1 should be fine. No, let's go like 3. That needs 0. Okay, so, and then that will be happening to this thing. Which ones does it move? Okay. Does it only move the parts that I want? That one did not get moved, and that one did not get moved. I don't know why that requires a 0 though. Oh. Because sometimes I made it require a 0. Okay. That'd be why those two didn't move. Hey, it still didn't move, okay. Okay, let's just try this again. Ignore what's there, we're only focusing on this one, because without Bevel the other ones don't go. This should be a 1, we wanted minus O. It seems like we want a minus O again. And we want to plus 2 in that case. Let's just see what that does. Oh, that does bad things. Oh, I got a loop with nothing in it, okay. Oh, there goes the things I was trying to hold. Bam. Oh yeah, I started a new round. Yeah, that's a bit further back than I remember. Quickly get her going. 2 more spots, that guy and this guy. Go there. That guy, I don't know why he's got a thing on him. Oh yeah, because I changed what I default with. Right there. Trying to place people here, bro. You go over there. I guess you go here. 2 slots away, so you just affect that person. I guess you could go here. That'd actually be really beneficial, wouldn't it? Oh wait, no. Well, that's my damage dealer, technically. She also does a lot of damage, but the healer can buff them. Or does the healer only buff people in front? I think she only buffs people in front, but she does heal. It increases the damage of adjacent champions. Oh, okay. I know that one's only in front. Those in front of her, yeah. And he does his thing, so that's buffing that guy, which should be my damage dealer. And she's not really used for anything, actually. I probably straight up shouldn't have her. I should have this guy instead. He buffs. Come on. Depending on the int score. The question is what this guy's int score. Does he get buff by him? If he does, it'd be massive. Let's do that. And the rest of you people are just interchangeable. Okay. Let's guy going. Burr. Teamwork. Move off more clickers. Yeah, that's all good. Huh. Okay, and now we just do, yeah, that's not gonna happen. Female fit frilly. Oh, this is the worst build yet. Oh, this is terrible. All of them are just wrong. I should have looked at it before I told him to do his thing. I could have reset it. I could have changed it. That's terrible. Can't put the dwarf there. There is no other female I want to have here. I need my damage dealer, and I need her to be buffer. But she's a female anyway. I can't switch out that guy. I can't switch out this guy. I can't put that guy there. That is terrible. That's like a couple of zeros of damage I haven't gotten. It should get me to the thing though. What, I need 200? Yeah, I should get there easy. Preferences. Use. Remove. Install. And I did save. Yep. Enable. Okay. So I think I got the top one now, but yeah, I need +2. Weird. Oh, well I am starting at a 1. So if I don't do that, and then I just have... Well, I'm still going to need a +2. I think. No, I just need a +1 now. I think. That appears to be all of it. Okay, there you go. Now if I was to do the bevel... What happens? Okay, so that's one too high, that's one too low. That's just telling me I don't do that. Oh, well, that's not doing anything. Okay. I need to be doing an extra one of those. That's a 1. That's a 2. Nope, still does it. Oh, because it's a 0, but it's a 1. And that's... What? So we have a bevel, O is 0. That's not doing anything. So I want that to be a 2 and this to be a 3. I just want that to be a 2, apparently. No. I want that to be a 1, this to be a 3. What? I want that to be a 1 and this to be a 2. Yes. And now if I put the bevel, take the bevel off again. No. Both of them are grabbing one too far back. Which is implying that so we don't have a bevel now, that's a 1, so that would be, this is a plus O. And that's a minus O. Now it's one too far. Wait, is it not one too far? Oh. Why? Oh, okay. It's not one too far. Perfect. And again, if I have the bevel... What? And that is great. Okay. So then I just need to put these ones in. So that would technically be this, and we just don't do that because that starts as an O, so this should be a 0. Is this upside down? Yeah, okay. Yep, so that's got that top part. And then we just need the bottom part. Which in this case, instead of I, would be plus this plus 2. Bam! Okay. Just to double check, if I remove the bevel. Perfect. And because it doesn't matter if the bevel's there or not. So that's all that. We do this, and well, that's actually it. Nope. Let's also get rid of that. Okay, normals are backwards, but that's manageable. Yep. And then if we add the bevel... Bam! The progress is progressing. So you just gotta flip the normal. And there we go. Okay, I believe this should be 8 by default. So the next step is the array, I suppose. I really hope I haven't messed things up badly, because I still got a lot to do. Array 8. 360 divided by 8. It's 8, right? 8, yeah. It's 1 too few. Okay. It's evenly spaced all around, so it must be that. So I need 1 extra on either side, apparently. Easy enough. Where am I? What am I looking at? I'm confused. Okay, there we go. You're all good. +1. Oh, that button does something else now, doesn't it? I was just going to instance it. Okay. I did do the change, didn't I? Save. There we go. That's right on it. Perfect. Almost. So the next thing I'd want to do is remove one of those. This side's already got a gajillion things happening to it, so I may as well just do that. I want to delete that, and I also want to delete -1. There you go. No. I did do the thing, I did save, that's... What? Try again. No. Excusez-moi? There we go. Weird. Whatever, no problem. What? I'm slightly distracted by whatever the heck's going on there. I did not remember those. Looks fancy though. Is it a spiral or just squares? I think it's just squares. Looks like it's a spiral though. Ah, it's just squares. Weird. With perspective. Okay, so it's got that one extra gap there. So that's for joining, because I want to join that one to, well, that one to that one, that one sort of a thing. Oh, it's shaping up now. I've almost got a gear again. Oh my god. And I can't do the bevel thing because it's just a heck of a lot of conditions, isn't it? I should make a better condition for that. I feel like I should go out though. No, I can't go out because I need a shower. I've been wearing this shirt for a little too long because I thought I was out of clean clothes, but then I wasn't. But I'll be going to a board game thing in a couple of days, so I'll just... Hygiene. Who needs it? It's my nice shirt though. It would be nice if I wasn't wearing it for so much. Usually I change out of it. And I kept going out. I need to do laundry again anyway, that's my excuse. Although I said that for the last couple of months of not doing laundry. I'm hungry, I sort of want to eat some food and then come back to this. Because the next thing is the array. And then I can go back to try to get the crowning thing working. I also need to get twists working, but no, I have to do the crowning first, and then we'll come back to the damn twists. Ugh. Imagine, I get so much done that tonight I can test print. No, it's still a number of days away. As long as... I can't see any reason why I'm going to have to recreate this again from scratch. Like, everything's there, it's relatively easy to code in new features without breaking the current ones. Functions work, it's not quite standardized way, I do need to definitely go through it all. You know, if I want to sell this thing... yeah, I can't be lazy about it. And it also makes it take a heck of a long time. Some of these have squares. Who knows? Does it always do that, or is it just doing that? Do it again? Huh? Okay. Gem animation. Oh, each one has a different animation. Well, it's basic, so it probably doesn't have any animation. No animation? Maybe because it's base level. Oh, maybe because it's got that. No. Maybe it is because of the outline thing, but then this doesn't have it. Or maybe because it's got the outline thing and it's a blue one. I don't know. Hello, Posted Giant. Feel free to ask questions if you want to know what's going on. If you're real, let me know and I'll stick around. Otherwise, I'm about to just go eat some food. But if you're an actual person, I'll stick around and do some more. Does that guy have the buff? More as in more coding, not more playing this. Incoming. Who's that guy again? Hey, he does have it. Wow, that's a large amount of extra damage. Boost the damage it is. Bam. So he had like a 7 before. 7,000, he should have more than that now. Yeah. Nice. I wasn't paying attention to my damage meter though. But that's still pretty low. It's so hard to tell. Sometimes it's around 60. 60, 61, and other than that. Whoa, yeah, that's right. I did have the absolutely trash build from that guy, so I'm down a few zeros. Whatever. All I need to get to 200. I'm not sure if I'll get there. I'm still early on. Probably got buffs from people in their upgrades soon. Needs to be at least 61 for me to get to 200, usually. Maybe it's a weaker area, who knows. Yeah, sometimes you just straight up murder them and other times they run away. Okay. So are you a real person? Yes, no, maybe. Can you repeat the question? Let's see if I could just toggle on frowning. Because it should just be this. Okay. Really? Oh yeah, because there's two. Ew. What happened there? Side parts didn't go with it. I thought I got the side parts working with it. Oh, well, the side parts will be in the side parts. That's why I remember going up here too. There. Oh, that's not right. I changed how O works. Well, oh, O is being reused. Okay. I don't like it. Oh, it's because I don't have the rest of the stuff happening as well. Yeah, it's just moving upwards. But that's got to go out further. These have to be extended. And, yeah, then I got to have that thing as the height instead of this. Because reasons? Let's open up the other bin file. Oh, there you are. It's pretty crazy how I created these things originally. It's weird. Like, I don't remember it being such a fancy thing at the time. Yeah. So it's so skewed in. If I had the same height with that one, half of it wouldn't be meshing. So it'll have like a skewness to it, and that's where I measure the height from. Love how pretty they look. Love how pretty they print. Sucks that a little too small to be able to completely appreciate it. My blurry vision. What did I test? I could get some new glasses. They're ever so slightly better. I don't really want to pay $300 for a new pair of glasses that just add an extra pixel or two to my vision, though. Well, I guess I gotta go. Didn't get a reply. I'ma eat some food and watch a thing. What have I got to watch today? I think I already watched the anime of today. Damn it. Got a new anime that's apparently so good that my friend watched through the entire thing back to back. Didn't even let me know that it was a thing. I didn't even get to watch it with him. And then, that's not annoying. What was Zen? Oh yeah, that's what I was trying to have with this one. Are there any new people things? Oh yeah, I think there's a new episode of Superman. Whatever that's worth. So I'll watch that. Ooh, I don't remember the series that I was sort of into, and it was sort of good, but then I was waiting for them to make a dubbed version of it, and I don't know if they have yet, and it's been so long now that I don't think I care. So it sucks. Weird. Alright. Well, I'm just tanking my average views by staying here. I shall be back later, maybe, possibly, probably not.